Welcome to the Put Work In podcast. Today we have Celina Eklund. Did I pronounce that right?
Yep, you got it.
Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I guess I'm good like that. I don't know. Well, just tell us a little bit about yourself. I see you are with Andy Elliott, which we knew that, but a lot of the people watching this probably don't know what y'all do. So just kind of introduce, like, what do y'all do?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, I'm grateful to be on here. Thank you for giving me an invitation because I know that you guys could have chosen anybody else. So I feel like totally honored to be on here. So my name is Celina and I work for the Elliott Group, and Andy Elliott, Jacqueline Elliott both own the Elliott Group. So we teach sales training and also leadership training and health and fitness. And that's kind of what we're about. Andy started off in the automotive industry. He sold for 23 years automotive industry. Last year selling, he did $700,000 in selling cars. So he did so well that he decided to open up the Elliott Group. He started teaching sales training, and I'm his first female coach here at the Elliott Group. So I guess that's what makes me a little bit special than anybody else here. But I've been training with him since August of 2021. So it's been about 2 years, and then I've been on board with the company for about a year and a half, June of last year. And yeah, we're killing it. We're taking over the world in all different areas, and mindset, health, fitness, and sales training to leadership, team building. So that's really what we're about.
That's awesome. How did you end up? So y'all do sales training.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you end up at Elliott Group?
Yeah. Wait, let me ask real quick before we get all into this, because this is going to be a fun podcast. Okay. I'm going to be one of the fun people that you're going to have on here. Okay, so Carson has been following us for a while, but Dylan, how did you come across Andy? How long have you been following him? What kind of videos have you seen on him?
Well, besides, just the random videos you see on like TikTok or whatever, Carson has basically put me on. So it's been pretty recent.
Okay. So like 6 months, couple months, how long?
Yeah, probably 6 months.
Okay, cool. So I found Andy because my dealership got on board with his training platform. So he's got a Lightspeed training platform where you can log into, you can get like word tracks, know the exact road to the sales process. So my company got on board with it. And I started going psycho crazy. And I've trained with a bunch of other trainers in the past that I don't need to mention. But I've seen all different sorts of trainers. And I'm just like, man, this guy, there's something different about this guy. So he had a live training event, right? And it's like, this building that I'm standing in where I'm reaching out to you guys is our headquarters of the Lion's Den. But they had a live training, a live seminar. And this was January of last year. So Andy calls me up and he goes, hey, where do you see yourself at in 2 years? And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I've never had anybody ask me that. But I said, well, I'm 28 years old, 27 years old. I said, my goal was by the age of 50, I wanted to become a general manager of a dealership because I'd spent 10 years in car sales. So I said, that's my goal. He laughed at me and he goes, if you stay around me, I'll get you there within 2 years. And I'm like, there's no way that this is possible. I've been doing this for 10 years. There's no way, like without any free handouts or referrals, that you're going to get me there. Well, within a matter of 6 months, I ran our dealership. We had 3 locations and I ran the third one. And it's crazy because I remember meeting him and he told me, he goes, Celina, as long as you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. And I didn't really quite understand what that meant back then, but I was just like, okay, I'll just do whatever you say because I'm just a sales girl. I'm trying to make more money, right? Whatever's going to make me more money. I'm like, if you can teach me a better way of how to overcome an objection, like when people say, hey, I got to think about it. I got to go talk to my wife. There's a couple more cars I need to go take a look at. Well, I was saying the same things that everybody else was saying. Well, what is it that you need to think about? Or I don't know, what else do people say? Why do you got to go talk to your wife first? Let's just bring the car to your wife. I was saying all those same things. I'm like, if there's a better way to say it and we can compress time frames, I'll do it. So I remember coming out to a live event. This was January of 2022. And I remember meeting him for the first time. And there was a lineup of people waiting by to get a photo with him. And I was like, this guy, some kind of celebrity. Went to my first live event with him. And I really just started implementing everything that he was saying, leadership qualities, taking initiative, serving people at the highest level. And I went psycho crazy on his training. So get this, right? Are you ready for this, Dylan? This is the crazy part.
I'm ready.
My company paid $20,000 to Andy Elliott. They wrote him a check, right? And they're like, here you go. Here's your money. Go train my team. We'll do whatever it takes to be number one in the state of Washington. Well, I had shortly realized that if you don't pay your own way and somebody else pays for you, you're never going to pay attention and you're not going to have skin in the game. Carson understands that. We've had conversations about that before. So I decided, you know what? If I pay every single month $600 to Andy Elliott and I put my own skin in the game, you pay to pay attention. If somebody else gives it to you, you're just going to slack off and you'll do it whenever it's convenient for you because it's not your money. So I spent within a 6-month span, probably about $25,000 of my own money in personal development, self-investing. And that's exactly how I got there. I think a lot of people don't realize to do the hard stuff and do the stuff that nobody is willing to do, like memorizing word tracks. And if you got to stay late at night to take a couple more customers, like you're going to have to do the things that other people aren't willing to do. And let me tell you this, like, especially because Dylan and Carson, you guys are both in sales, or for anybody else that's listening to this right now, it doesn't matter what industry that you're in. We're all public speakers, right? Like we talk for a living. We use our mouthpiece. The number one thing that is going to get you paid is your mouthpiece, from the way that you speak to the way that you articulate your words. And I learned that very quickly, that if I'm saying the same things, or if I have a 5th grader's language instead of a university vocabulary, I'm never going to get anywhere because I sound like mediocrity. I sound like the rest of the world. And that's really changed like my life with being around here and upping my language and the way that I talk.
Awesome.
All right, that was kind of a long answer. That was like a 4-minute answer. Dang.
Hey, perfect. Hey, less work for us to do. Yeah. Back to like what you were talking about, the objections. People like, I got to go talk to my wife or whatever. So my stepdad's he's my manager, and he does the same stuff I do. I mean, we live in the South, so you get a lot of I got to go pray about it. And one time these people told him that they had to go pray, and he was like, all right, well, let's pray. He was like, we're going to pray right here.
I've had to do that before too as well. I'm like, great. I'm so glad that I'm glad I'm Christian. My mom raised me Catholic. My father's Christian. So let's go ahead and
there we go.
You know, I mean, you kind of got to do what you, or some people, I've done this before in the past, like you've got a Bible that's set next to the table and you can whip out that Bible and you guys do a little sermon session together. All that people are looking for is to be accepted into something. Like society and humans, they just want to feel a part of something. So when you're a sales professional and you make that experience different than anybody else, because you got to think about it. These people, like Dylan, you sell medical equipment. What is it that you sell exactly?
Medicare plans. Okay. Insurance.
So are you over the phone with the insurance or in person?
In person.
Well, you're even luckier. Okay. So if these people are working with somebody that's selling them insurance and they're going place to place to place to place, right? Or they have different people like yourself, Dylan, they've got a couple appointments set up, right? They've got like 2 appointments this afternoon, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. And you're the guy that's going in on Sunday. And you come up to them and this company or the owner, the leader, the manager is like, hey, we got to pray about it. And they've already been through 5 or 6 different guys and you got a Bible in your book, or they come to your facility and you got a Bible right there. You have to remember to do common things in uncommon ways. Nobody else, the world right now does not care. Nobody else cares and nobody else works from the heart. So it sets yourself apart and it sets you different, that like, wow, this guy Dylan actually has a Bible and he's wanting to pray about it with us, because everybody else was probably just told him, okay, all right, here you go. Well, let me know. I guess church is on Sunday. I'll follow up with you on Monday. It's like, that's not a close. You're just letting the customer go. Like a true master closer is somebody that can close them down right then and for all the money. It goes simultaneously. So when you can show up and be different than everybody else, I mean, you're winning. Like clients, if I had a client that was showing up today at 5 o'clock, I was back selling cars and I had a family that was coming in and I already had the appointment set up. She's having some kids. She's got 2 baby kids on the way, 2 twins on the way. I don't have kids yet. So I'm like, what's the terminology for this? Well, mom's got some twins on the way and she's got a little one with her. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You already know it's around supper time. So go above and beyond. Go order a pizza. Have that pizza ready for them when they arrive at the dealership. They feel more comfortable. They feel taken care of, because no other salesperson's going to care that much to go buy a $10 pizza across the way to have them prepared for them. So for anybody that's listening to this right now, one thing I love about sales is get creative with it. Like you have the opportunity to have fun with, you know, whatever it is that you're selling.
It's like they say, they don't care how much you know till they know how much you care.
from Andy. Somebody's been training. Let's go. That's exactly what he says, is people just want to know, do you care? And do they feel accepted into a part of your community? And that's exactly what the people that are praying are doing. Like, they're just trying to figure out, do I do business with you or do I do it with somebody else? Because it's not a matter of if they're going to buy the product. It's just a matter of when. And that when is when the deal is right with the sales professional that's right. And they're going to spend their money with them. It's like buying a car, or buying a home. I'm going to buy a home. I already have a pre-approval letter. So it's just, am I going to spend it with Dylan or am I going to spend it with Carson? Who's going to buy me the pizza? It's like... That's what I want. That's what I want to spend the money with.
Pizza thing is a good point too, because I just recently bought a car. Me and my fiance went together, and this dude, he had to have been like right out of high school, very shy salesman, handed us 2 lukewarm bottles of water. I was like, man, these people do not care. Like, what's the guy got to do to get?
Yeah, and it's crazy because because unfortunately, nobody trains them, and they don't know. They don't have that self-awareness, because I think a lot of parents or a lot of people, they don't teach their kids about self-awareness and being aware of, like, taking care of other people. The small details make such a big difference. And even at my dealership that I was last at, one of the things that I did is we had like this old coffee machine back from like the 80s. It was disgusting. It was probably from Goodwill. I hope the GM doesn't get a hold of this podcast, because that would be so embarrassing. But you have this old, coffee pot machine from the 80s that's disgusting, that has probably been used from 5 other dealerships, and they got it from Goodwill. Times have changed, things have changed, and people have changed. Go buy a Keurig. It's $100. You're averaging on your commission sales anywhere between $300 to $500, or whatever your per copy is. And think about how much more money that Keurig, that coffee machine, is going to make you, because people feel more welcome because you got the actual Keurig pots. Yeah. Right? Like, and they want an individual cup. They don't want a community pot that's old, that's like Aunt Flo's restaurant right down the road.
Sitting there all day.
Yeah, it's modern, it's new, it's a fresh cup of coffee. So it's like, what's a Keurig? Even the nicest one is like $100 on Amazon. Go get some cups from Costco, a bulk order, and there you go, and buy some creamer. That's also contribution. There's 2 different kinds of people in this world. There's either consumers or contributors. All that the Elliott Group is trying to build is more people that are willing to contribute. Because it's like, if I did with you guys, Dylan and Carson, I just take. You're like, screw this girl. I never want to give her anything. But it's like, if I'm willing to give the pizzas and the coffees and this, and my time for the podcast, this and that, you're like, oh, we love the law of reciprocity. Like, we want to give more back. So there's a fine line between the 2.
Yeah. So Carson knows more about kind of what y'all are about than I do. We kind of started out as just mainly a fitness podcast. We kind of branched out into other things now, but so you actually hit on it already, but y'all are big on fitness. Carson tells me that you can't work for Andy Elliott unless you have a 6-pack.
That's true. I got a little, I'm not going to take my shirt off, but I don't have a sports bra underneath, but I got a little 2-1. I'm working on the next 4. What are you guys doing for your fitness training? Is it all virtual? What is that like?
I do. I go to the gym, but are you saying like to sell?
Do you guys have like a fitness program? Or are you guys together in it, or that's just 2 common things that something that you guys
it's more something we have in common. We'd like our other guy that's not here right now. Carson's not really big on fitness, but the other guy, he's big on fitness too, and we'd like to get into some fitness sales, but right now we don't have. That's just a common denominator.
Yeah, it's all physical, mental business. That's what we believe in. Physical, mental business, because your business can't be good if you're not physically fit and taken care of. So, like, I'll give you an example. If I'm dealing with a sales professional or somebody that I am exchanging monies with, am I going to go with the gal that has 300 pounds that can't even nearly breathe, or am I going to go with a girl that's 120 pounds, 150 pounds, and she's cut and lean? What's crazy is I went to the doctors, I think like 6 months ago. I just went in for a checkup, and this was a new doctor out here in Arizona, because before I lived in Washington. So I came out here, right? And I'm checking into the appointment, and I've never seen them before, right? I booked the appointment over the phone, but I walk in and I'm like, yeah, my name is Celina Eklund. I'm here for my annual checkup. She goes, okay, doctor will be right with you. This girl comes out and grabs me, She brings me in, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, where's the doctor? And she sits down with a clipboard and she starts doing my physical exam. And I'm like thinking to myself, like, is this this girl had to have at least been 300, 400 pounds. And she's a doctor here, and she's giving me advice on how to take care of my health. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I eventually going to have to like pay for a healthier doctor? I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind. And I'm like, it's kind of like a doctor that smokes. Like, you're going to tell me to not put nicotine in my body. It's not good for me. But yet you're in the back over there freaking smoking as many as you can before your next appointment. Like that, that is a fraud, you know, and we're really real in who we are here at the Elliott Group. So I had to like, you know, think twice of, oh my gosh, this lady's going to give me prescriptions or medication, or she's going to diagnose me with a plan of how to stay healthy for my next 10 years until I'm in my 30s. And I'm like, I don't even know if I can trust you because you can't even take care of your health. And I'm like, I'm finding a new provider. And then there goes missing business. She probably doesn't even realize it, but now because of that interaction, I'm no longer going to be going to that facility, which means now they're not going to be collecting a paycheck from my insurance company. So yeah, physical part is so important of anybody's business. I'm always trying to get the curl, you know,
right. Even if you like, you know, you have the overweight person and then the in shape person, you may not even intentionally choose the in shape person to do business with intentionally, but you know, it's like something in your brain that's like, okay, this guy has a little more discipline, is a little more, you know, intentional with his time and whatnot.
Yeah, your body is a walking billboard of discipline, how disciplined that you are. It shows it. Like, especially now, even now, like if I were to give somebody a workout plan, right, from like a year ago, and I said, okay, you got to do this many push-ups and this many sit-ups and you got to do this much cardio. And then in a year from now, if you still look the same, you really weren't listening to me at the very beginning. It's like your body is going to show those results, and it's not going to show right now when I had that conversation, but now a year later, it's going to tell me if you really listen to me or not. So that's powerful. I'm glad that you recognize that. Yeah. What do you guys want to learn, by the way? Like, is there something you learn or know? Or do you have questions?
So, well, I just want to start off by saying you were officially our first female guest. So congratulations on that.
Ooh, powerful.
We actually had a female, but she wasn't really a guest. She was just kind of a co-host of one of our episodes.
I did kind of want to talk about women in business with you.
Yeah.
So my first question is, what do you think the most significant barrier is for, you know, girls like you trying to break into these kind of high-level leadership positions?
I think one of the myths that's out there, or a lot of people believe that women aren't good in business. And I think oftentimes what ends up happening is you program that. So people in your life, what ends up happening is I had this dream, right, of that I wanted to be an astronaut or a teacher, or I want to be a veterinarian. I had all these ideas. And somewhere along the line, somebody took that dream away from me, right? It's like when you're a kid, like, oh, I want to be a princess one day, or I want to be Superman one day. And somebody takes that away from you. I do believe that throughout your life, people start feeding you negative thoughts, and you start to believe that internally, which tells women inside, like, hey, I don't believe in myself and I don't think that I can do it. But actually, women are amazing in business. They're so good in business, and they're powerful. Not only that, but there's less for them to compete with. There's less business owners and less sales women that are out there. So it's like, it's less for you to compete with. You have a higher opportunity to be number one in your industry. And the women that we work with here in the Elliott Group are smashing the boys. They're killing it. I mean, not only do we have like a creative side, but we're also like really nurturing. But I think something that is like a struggle, or something that holds women back, is not believing in themselves and thinking like, oh, I'm a girl. Like the other sales guys that I see out on the floor, it's all guys because they're technically bringing home the paycheck. They are the breadwinner of the household. I'm like, okay, that's a limiting belief that you just put inside of your brain. You just created that lie up in your brain to feed yourself of why you shouldn't be in sales or in business, because nobody told you that you weren't allowed to do that. So I don't know where you got that information from. Last I checked, this is the United States of America, and its freedom is available, and you can be whoever you want and become whoever you want. So I say smash those limiting beliefs, and you can become that next business owner, the next businesswoman. And I'm part of that. So it's like, if I can do it, like anybody else can definitely do it too.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that it's important to have encounters like this where you get to highlight all those success stories and stuff, because it really does bring awareness to, pushing through those limited beliefs and stuff. I do think that's important, especially for the next generation.
Yeah, totally. And I wish, if there are any ladies, which I'm sure we'll cut this up, or I'll have my guy that'll cut it up too and put bits and pieces that are out there. But I think believability is just a start of it. This isn't something where, this is the 50s, like the 1950s, the 1940s, where back then women had to be quiet. They weren't allowed to be in politics. They weren't able to have a voice. But just as I stated earlier, times have changed, things have changed, and people have changed. So it's like, if you really want that, grab a pen and a piece of paper and write down where you see yourself at in 2 years. What is it that you want to accomplish? I love being in sports and in business that are male dominant. It's so funny because I've never realized that before, but now looking back, so like a sport that I personally love is golf. And I think it's because it's just male dominant. And I want to be the one to say, I'm a girl and I can freaking slug that ball down and get a hole in one just as easy as you can. Because it's just a matter of practicing. I just got to practice over and over and over and over again until I hit the ball, the club with the ball that goes straight down. And it's like, there are other industries where women are really good at. And it's like, I don't want to be in those industries because I want to challenge myself. I love the challenge. When you can constantly run to that challenge, you are always changing yourself, and change equals fulfillment. And you'll feel fulfilled internally of like, hey, I ran to this pressure. I ran to this 3.0 version of myself. I'm doing things that other women aren't doing, even guys aren't doing out there. And that makes me feel fulfilled to be like, to say, I did it. I accomplished this. This was a dream of mine. And now I'm doing it.
It's awesome. That's
Are you
respectable.
guys married? Do you guys have girlfriends, wives?
Yeah, I'm not as well married. I have a fiance. Children.
Yeah, I'm married. I have 2 kids.
What does your guys' wives do? What do they do?
Go ahead,
You want
Carson.
me to go?
Yeah.
So mine actually works at my previous job. She's a operations support specialist. So she works for a Caterpillar dealer at their rental store, and she is operations support for the service side of the business.
Very cool. So she's technical. She's good at organization.
Yeah, she's good at a lot of stuff. She kind of she definitely has big dreams and goals for herself, and she pushes me pretty much every day to achieve my goals too. She don't let me slack. I'll tell you that.
I love that. And like right before I get to you, Dylan, I think that is so. Okay, Carson, let's get to your wife first. What's her name?
Her name is Megan.
Megan. Okay, so see, I can already connect with her right now because she works at Caterpillar. So she's probably the only woman in her company, right? Because it's all guys.
The only woman at the location that she works at.
Okay, you know what I would do if I was her? I would freaking capitalize the heck on that, and I would also move up in the company and learn more about leadership. So she has something special that not everybody else has. Obviously, she's got an upper hand because she is more caring, nurturing, knows details. Like if I was somebody in her shoes, I'd be like, what's the next step up to leadership? Like, can she become the GM of that store? Can she lead a team? And what I would start doing if I was her or anybody else that wants to lead a team, because I do feel like leadership is also like being fulfilled. I would start doing those things. Like if you're a salesperson or if she's just like an ops, and the next level up is the general manager, I would start already acting like I'm the general manager. And I would start taking on tasks and roles of that next leadership step up. That way you can just start educating yourself and learning more of the different areas. You got to know your company more than anybody else knows the business. You got to be the number one expert, whether it's the competition, like her competition, the product across the way, or taking care of the employees that are inside that company. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. When I was a finance manager, at a dealership, what do you do all day long? You get deals that are bought from the bank to help the customer get financed with their car. So you're the middleman between the bank, the customer, they get their paperwork. You can sell them gap and warranty. You go on your way. Most finance managers will just do that. Well, I wanted to run one of our sister stores. I wanted to be a general manager. So I had to start putting on my general manager hat. So you know what I would do on my off day is a general manager overlooks what? Service, parts, and sales, right? Customer service, the operations, the HR side. Well, if I want to run this company and I want to take over and I want to be number one in the state of Washington, I got to put my GM hat on. So on my off days, I would go spend my days in the service department because I know everything that there is about sales. I've been in sales for 10 years. We could play word tracks and role play all day long. I know nothing about service department. So how is the owner going to expect me to run the company if I don't know anything about service? So I would run to the service department every single day on my day off, and I'd bring a pen and a piece of paper and I'd be like, hey, Larry, he was our service advisor, service manager. I'd be like, educate me. I'm going to shadow you all day long. I want you to tell me exactly all the way from the top to the bottom of the shop. Tell me about I want to know about the safety regulations. Where do we keep the barrels of oil? Where do we discard all of the parts? Where do we order parts? Like, I want to know everything about the service department. And so I started acting like I was already a next level up. So like Carson, for your wife, I would tell Megan, like, start doing those. And you know what? It's easy to say right now, but when she's in the mix of things and trying to lead, it does get very frustrating because people just think, oh, you're a woman and I'm double your age. And I've been in this industry for 15 years and you've only been in it for 2 years. I know more about it than you. No. Time means nothing. Time means nothing. I want to care about who's most educated and who has the biggest heart. If somebody is going to out care my Caterpillar location versus knowledge, because knowledge, I could teach her that all day long, right? I could teach her exactly, where the machines come from. And if somebody's got a repair or they need some assistance or support, I could teach all that. But if her heart is bigger than anybody else in the company and I can see her passion because she's pulling late night hours and she's really like driving into becoming the number one Caterpillar store in the United States of America, I'd be like, I'm hiring that girl because that girl's got my back for life as the owner. I'm like, she is somebody that I have the best interest in. And I would start doing like, articles and stuff of like women in the construction industry and like get her diving into other women that's in that field. Oh, then it's a whole other one. Anyways, like I wish we could, just have Megan on here right now.
Bring her in.
I could make that happen.
Yeah, dude. I would love to. I'd love to do like a little article on her too. And Dylan, what's your wife's name? What does she do?
Her name's Abby. She's also the operations support specialist here at the house. She's stay-at-home mom.
Oh, there she goes. She already knows. That's a full-time job in itself.
Yes, it is.
It's funny. I would probably say to somebody that is a mom or doesn't work in an exact industry. I feel like a lot of men do want their women involved. So my goal in my relationship, I have a little notebook and we have core values of our own relationship and we have non-negotiables. So just like a company, just like probably your guys' companies, they have core values, right? Like 6 or 7 core values. Well, in my relationship, my romantic relationship, my boyfriend and I sat down, we opened up a notebook and we said, hey, these are our 6 to 7 core values and we're not willing to negotiate with any of these. So one of mine is to wow the other person every single day. Like I want to impress him every single day. So for any women that are out there that are listening to this, that are stay-at-home moms and, you play a very, very important role too, even though you are at home and maybe you're not directly in with the business. But like if I was a mom and I was stay at home, I would want to sit down and be like, okay, Dylan, like, let's go. Let's break down all of our finances. Like, where do you want to go? Because in order for you to be well at work, I have to support you as much as I can. I don't just want to go to Costco and pick up the groceries and do the regular stuff and feed the kids lunch. Like, I want to be directly involved. Hey, maybe that's like this year, you got Christmas coming up. So what I would do is I'd be like, who are all your top tier clients that you've done business with? And who are the upcoming clients that you want on your plan, your insurance plan? And we'll mail out Christmas cards to everybody. So like, that's another part of having a woman involved and like, mailing out stuff. I don't know, I'm getting creative. Did you guys do Christmas cards this year?
No, we didn't.
There you go. And that's a great follow-up tool, right?
Yes.
Sending out Christmas cards. It makes people feel important that like, oh, shoot, Dylan actually thought of me. He wasn't just trying to sell me something, and while you're at work all day long, you could have her at home while she put the kids down to bed and she can be helping you handwrite these cards to your guys' clients. And then you don't say it's from Dylan. You say, Dylan, what's your last name?
McCollum.
Okay. You say it's from the McCollum family. You guys both sign it together. That way they know, oh, wow, Dylan really cares about his family. He has his family inside of his business too. It's not just him. you create more of an intimate relationship with that client, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. It's great
Hell yeah.
advice.
Yeah, so get your Christmas cards out.
Get your Christmas cards.
Megan and trying to see if she's in the chat. Does it tell you who's in there, Dylan?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, she's here. She's in the chat on Facebook.
Yay. I can't see it on my side, but I'm glad that she's here. We're just giving Megan a bunch of nuggets. The ones from
Megan.
because those ones are way better.
So, Carson?
You know, you guys do a lot of conventions and events and stuff, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Do you ever get intimidated speaking on stage and stuff? Because I mean, you guys do some big crowds, right?
We do. I don't, and I think it's because I've always performed, so it's very normal for me. And I think a lot of the other coaches here, the other guys, I think it's so normal for us because we've been in sales, so we're used to performing, presenting. I've done music, I've done sports growing up, so performing has always been like a common thing for myself, or like dance, ballet. So it's never been weird to be in front of a crowd of people. Like I guess it's really been normal for me, or as part of competing, right? Is showing up all the time. So it's not at all. I have met a couple of people in the past where they're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think I can get up there," and I'm like, "Yes, you can. You got to face your fears. Come on. If you can't get up on this stage, then what makes you think you can freaking dial on the phones to sell any of Andy's seminars or courses? You got to get up there." That's a good question. No, never been intimidated.
A more stage fright, which, you know, like I prefer the more like one-on-one stuff. You get me in front of a crowd, I kind of get nervous. But you know, fun fact about me and Dylan: back in the day, we had aspiring rap careers. We used to do some concerts, and you know, I would almost start shaking. I would be so nervous, and it was like 10 people.
You were nervous? I was nervous.
Bro, yeah.
What did you guys say?
We didn't. We rapped.
Oh, you
Yeah,
rap.
we did. Yeah, we did Christian hip hop.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I think what helps with like the stage fright too is actually practicing it. So I used to
For sure.
record myself all the time. And even like, this is so funny, even when I became a sales manager at my dealership, I would take my phone and I would prop it up because I wanted my sales meetings to be very powerful. So the night before, a couple nights before, I'd put my phone up and I'd be pretending like all the sales guys were there, and I'd be like navigating conversation. I'd be like, "All right, you guys, we're going to get that out there and everybody's going to get closed this weekend." And I would watch myself and I'm like, okay, do I look fake? Does it look scripted, or does it look like, you know, I'm really speaking from the heart? So I know practicing definitely helps a lot too. When you guys were up on that stage, was it an accessible place where you could always go on that stage? Like it was someplace like right down the road?
Yeah, it was basically our church.
Oh, a church? Okay. Yeah, I would probably have said, like, I would go up to the pastor and be like, "Hey, can I borrow the stage a couple nights prior to," you know, that way you get familiar. It's not so foreign a shock to your body of like practicing it over and over. That's so funny. What do you guys hip hop about, or what do you rap about for gospel? What do you guys talk about? Like baby Jesus?
Something like that.
Just anything.
Yeah.
Just what comes to mind?
Yeah, we just like normal rap, but without like drugs and stuff.
Yeah. Don't
Just
need
life.
the drug. Do you guys involve Christianity in your business?
Yeah,
we definitely do.
Yeah.
I think that sets a lot of people apart too, because the U.S. culture has really changed, and I think a lot of people are kind of wanting that foundation back again. That's really what like Andy Frisella talks about too, is the U.S. culture, the United States culture. I mean, you know, like I'm sure that you guys too, growing up, you know, we always put our hand over our heart. And you said the Pledge of Allegiance every single morning, right? And now it's like some schools aren't doing it, or you don't have to, or the whole like NFL thing, you know, you can take a knee, you can sit down instead of standing. And I'm like, why? I'm just like, I don't know where we've lost touch with that. Like it's 15 seconds, or the national anthem, it's 20 seconds. You know, the least that you can do is pay your respect and just stand up, you know. But so I think there's a quite a bit of population of people that are really trying to bring that back, and I've got respect for those people.
Yeah, I feel like for a while, for like the last 10 to 15 years, it was kind of like, okay, just be quiet about what makes you different. You kind of fit in or whatever. Now it's more like, hey, People are looking for that difference, and they're wanting you to be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember like even in 2010, right? All these YouTubers were like trying to act, they were going to people's houses and acting like it was their house, like these $1 million homes, like, oh, I live here. And it's like, no, you're using somebody's house as a prop. Like everything was so fake. You remember that? Like YouTubers like tried to show off houses and cars and this and that. And then people started to slowly realize because they would see them out in the streets and they're in a freaking Toyota Corolla, not in a Lamborghini. And then they're like punking them like, wait, what? What's going on? And people are just wanting more real, direct people these days. That's it. I think that's what the LA group has. It's so special is that we are really real. We're direct with people and we say how it is because we just want to help people become the best versions of them.
Yeah. And that kind of brings me to my next point, because that was one of the biggest things that I noticed, especially with a lot of Andy's content, is that, if you take a deep dive into it, you guys really stand out because, like, whether it's stuff on Facebook or TikTok, like, you swipe enough times, just every couple of posts, you guys are praying before an event or you're praying together as a team. And that was one of the things that really stood out to me. So I was very glad to see that because that's an important part of my life. And that's just another thing that I relate to.
Yeah, I had my mom, she came out here for one of Andy's live events last month, and she didn't know it, but I made her do the prayer. And she's like, Celina, no, I didn't have anything prepped. I'm like, that's the whole point of why you're doing the prayer. You want it to just roll off your heart, Mom.
Right.
She's like, all right, I'll do it. And she's like, she was super nervous because I'm like, and I explained to her, like, you don't need to be somebody that you're not around us. Like, the LA group loves you for who you are. In fact, we want you to be your most authentic self and your most real self. Like, don't act like you're somebody that you're not. Be the mom that I know that you are, the silly mom at 10 o'clock at night when you call me and we're making stupid, silly jokes at night. Like, people want to hear that side of you, Mom. They want to know that you're real and you're not just trying to be like, oh, I'm Celina's mom and perfect and proper. Like, I'm like, because I know you, Mom, you got a goofy side to it. Like, I want you to be you. And actually, I'd like to touch on that real quick is you being authentic, people being more authentic. And that comes into like the fake thing of what we were just talking about. Is I think more people, look, that's so funny as I'm on this, my mom sends me a text message, how does she know? I think more people really need to just be their authentic selves and stop trying to be somebody that they're not or portraying something that they're not, because the truth is always going to come out and it's just a matter of timing. And I think a lot of people feel they don't have a very good self-esteem and they don't feel confident about themselves. So they're searching for external sources to make them feel better, whether it's body modifications or materialistic items. And they're finding their confidence in those items or those possessions. And it's the worst thing that you could do, because the day that those possessions don't show up, you're like back on your feet again. It's like I don't link myself to my accomplishments. Right? I link my confidence to my inner self. Like, I know exactly who it is that I am. This entire time that I've been on this call, like, you guys can see my eyes. I have clarity and certainty for where I'm going. I'm not confused at all. And I think a lot of people just struggle so much to like be something that they're not. And I'm like, just be you. Like, I love you because you're you. We have a coach that's out here. This is so funny. His name is Tommy. He's newer. He's been with us for like 3 or 4 months, but he's been training with Andy for, like 5 years, 6 years. Well, his soon-to-be wife, his fiance, just jumped on board. So now she's kind of his assistant. She's helping him out. And usually the women that we have here, a lot of them in the past have been like quiet and modest. And we're like, just be who you are. Well, one thing I love about his fiance, her name is Sierra, is I was like, hey, can you guys help me out with something real quick? Can you help me out in this other room? I go up and they're like, no, Celina, we have to do this real quick. And they came and grabbed my body and they stuck me in front of the window as the sun was rising. And she goes, for 3 seconds, we have to do our sun watching. I'm like, what is this? Sun watching? And they're like, yeah, stare at the sun for 3 seconds. And I'm like, okay, I'm staring at the sun for 3 seconds. And she goes, this is called our sun salutation. And I was like, salutation. And she's like, okay, what do you need help with now? And I'm like, see, that's the fun part of like, people that I'm like, that's so cool. Like, there's no other guy or girl that would make me do that. And that's being authentic to me. instead of being like prim and proper and perfect because you're so concerned about what the outside world thinks of you. I promise the day that you let that go, the day that you let it go of what other people think about you and you stop caring about that is the day that you're going to skyrocket in your life. It does, not even in business, but in life personally. And it's like, man, that girl as like, she's new in the company, so I don't really know her. But at that moment, I knew in my heart, okay, she's somebody that I want to mentor and train in our company. Like, she's somebody I want to stay close with because she's really real. Like, she's not just trying to piggyback off of the Elliott group and try to steal Andy's name for fame. Like, she really wants to be here. You can feel that. Like, a soul recognizes a soul when you talk to them. And like, your eyes are the window to the soul. So I can tell exactly where you're at in life. I know exactly what's happening. And if you tell me your habits and your rituals currently right now, I can predict you in exactly where you're going to be at in 2 years. And, I guess that's a special gift that I was gifted by. I've just been around people my whole life, as we all have been. But, I think being authentic is so important, just being who you are in the most raw version of you.
You want to give it a shot? Yeah. You want to tell our future? What happened?
Oh, I'm finished. I don't know if you guys have another question.
So we actually have a comment. Sarah Covarrubias said that everyone isn't going to like your authentic self, and that's okay.
Everybody won't like your authentic. Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this, but F them. If they're not going to, then they're probably not the people that you want to hang out with or do business with. And I've realized that too, because there have been people before where I'm like, oh, I want to do business with this person because they're of high status or they have a lot of money. And I'm like, I got to lock this client down. Like I got to do business with them. And then I start to realize who they really are inside. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of don't want to do business with you. Like, I actually don't want your money. And then I've had people come up to me that they're like, Celina, we'll pay you this and that for Andy's time and this and like for your time and for you to coach me. And I'm like, I've actually declined it. I've declined the money because I don't want to do business with somebody that I don't believe in or doesn't represent the right thing. We only do business with people that are their heart and their intention is in the right place. And if I sense that, and it's taken me a little while to do that at first, I was just like, I'll sell it to anybody. Doesn't matter who you are. But now I'm like, actually, I'm going to protect this company. I'm going to protect my team. I'm going to protect my brothers and sisters here. And I actually don't think that you're a right fit for us. And I'm not willing to put my name out there with somebody who doesn't say who they are. So, and some people may disagree with that. Some people may think, oh, you're losing out on business. Okay, cool. Then sure, then I'm going to lose out on it, but it's not worth it for me.
Right. There's people in my business that, they kind of give you the runaround and you have to go above and beyond for them. And then, there's 10 other people that are a lot easier and you could have been spending your time with them instead. And it's those people that you have to do all that for, that you have to do all that to keep them. And it's just like, you have to gauge whether they're actually worth your time or not. Because some people are just difficult just for the sake of being difficult.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. They just want the status. I'm like, I can't do it. I used to be able to do it. Then I realized the importance of a high level client and, dumping your time and your energy to somebody that really does want to grow versus somebody that, doesn't care. So it's hard to afford it. You guys in the South, that's right.
So kind of going back to what you were saying about linking yourself to your accomplishments, that's really something that I've been struggling with a lot lately because I would say probably within the last 2 years, I've just started experiencing some kind of personal success with my career and things have really started taking off. And I remember before that, just kind of the positions that I was in, I felt so bad about myself because I hadn't achieved anything yet. And the biggest thing for me now, I think it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. I still feel like I really haven't done all that much,
Yeah, that's the devil. Imposter syndrome. It's have you guys read the book? Do you guys know Napoleon Hill? Have you heard of him?
Yes.
Napoleon Hill?
I've heard of him.
He's got a book called Outwitting the Devil. And this book changed my life. It was gifted to me by Brad Lee's guy. His name is Tyler Glennon. Well, look at you guys looking it up right now. And he runs Bradley. Yeah. So Bradley owns, he started up life insurance, right? Yes. Real Financial. So the guy that runs Brad's company is Tyler Glennon, and he gifted me with that book, and he said, this book changed my life. So I read the book, and it's the devil. It's the book explains how the devil isn't like, a horn with a tail and some fiery guy that looks like off the Cheeto bag. That's not the devil. The devil comes in different forms of procrastination, laziness, drugs, alcohol, telling yourself that you're going to do something and then you don't do it. That's actually the form of the devil. So yeah, I've read that book many times. I highly recommend, Carson, that you read that book too, because you'll start to see. So it's Napoleon Hill, and the theory in the book is that he actually had a conversation with the devil, and it's about the devil talking about how he brings people to hell and he sets them back in life, not pushing them forward. And he talks about multipliers, for an example. So the multipliers in the book he's talking about like a husband that's a smoker, right? Smoking's not good for you. And then there's a woman that likes to smoke, right? And his goal in life as the devil is to pair both two together that are smokers. Because if they begin to have children, 9 times out of 10, the percentage is higher for those children to start smoking. And then their kids smoke. So that's called a multiplier. And the devil's goal is to create more multipliers in this world. And it's like having 2 alcoholics, right? Or having 2 drug addicts, or having 2 people that are addicted to porn, and then so on and so forth. So he has this entire chart about dependent thinking and independent thinking. The best thing that we can do for our children is to not rely their thinking on a parent's. Like, they have to creatively think on their own, or else for the rest of their lives, they're going to be dependent on your thoughts, and they're going to look to you for guidance when they got to be out on their own. So the book has just changed my life in so many ways. Sorry, I kind of went off track a little bit, but great book. $10 online, and it's totally has changed me for the better, because you'll learn to flush out all of those other distractions in life. Yeah, distractions.
Right. Well, I don't know how much time you have. Do you have more time?
I've got 6 more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I mean, going back to the fitness real quick. What do you do for fitness?
I work with, it's so funny. Actually, I'm not wearing my fitness division shirt, but we have Elliott Army Fitness Division. So the company here, our company, has a fitness sector of it. So we've got awesome. A gym right downstairs. And Andy, his personal trainer, is here at the den with us. So we've got 3 guys. Actually, it's called Earn It All. You guys should look them up on Facebook. We've got a Facebook group for it. Earn It All is our fitness division. So you've got Justin, Adam, and Aaron. And Adam, our director, he is my personal fitness coach. So not only investing in just self-development for the brain, but I highly recommend to invest in a trainer, because they're going to hold you and keep you accountable. So him and we have a workout schedule and a workout plan. And for anybody that is listening to this, our Earn It All team can come up with a meal-based plan for you. So that way you don't have to think about what to eat. You do a consultation call with them for 30 minutes, and they will literally give you the roadmap plan for the next 6 months. So if you're somebody that wants to lose weight, they're going to give you a meal plan based off of that. I've never really been a person that needed to lose weight. I need to more so cut the fat and get lean, and I need to make more muscle. So that meal plan is going to be different from somebody that is trying to lose weight. I'm trying to build muscle. So they can create a meal plan for you. That's exactly what they did for me. And then we have a workout schedule. So we work out probably like 5 times out of the week, or we'll do like a run around the building here. But I've got a plan that I do personally with, and we've got a gym downstairs too. So that's kind of my fitness routine. And then we're always like doing something. We're always like biking or swimming, or, the team is doing like a turkey trot for Thanksgiving, right? We're always trying to like contribute to the community stuff. So we do a lot of that too, and help fundraise and support. So, that's a big part of like our fitness side. What do you do, awesome. Dylan? Do you just go to the gym?
I go to the gym. I do a little bit of everything, heavy lifting and CrossFit. And just a little bit of everything. It just depends on the time of year what I'm doing, but I'm always doing something. Yeah,
it's good. You got to keep you have more energy.
Yeah.
When you have when you're more fueled up. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to start today. You're going to remember this podcast.
You got to now.
we're gonna send you a birth certificate because you're gonna be reborn. That's gonna be it. And you'll have a new body and you'll take better care of your health. And actually also for somebody that needs resources or needs assistance, reach out to myself, because we do have plans for everybody regardless of your financial situation. We have programs for everybody. So I'm just going to throw my number out there. It's 949-212-1587, 949-212-1587. Anybody can reach out to me. I've got free programs that are out there too. Of course, the free stuff isn't as good as, the stuff that you pay for, but we do have actual paid training anywhere from $99 all the way up to, depending on how close that you want to be, up to Andy, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. But we have programs for people, and just like stay plugged in. You create your own reality and economy. So like what I would say is Carson and Dylan, like you guys hold each other accountable. You guys are the ones that are creating this podcast, and you're creating a movement. You're creating a legacy. So Dylan, if you know that Carson, because you're the leader of this, that Carson is wanting to get into better shape and, getting better, like, maybe you get on the phone with him and you guys come up with your own little meal plan. And every Sunday you guys make it a point to jump on the phone real quick. Do you guys live near each other?
Not far. Yeah.
Okay, 30 minutes. So, I mean, even if that's something where you guys meet up or you do a little Zoom call or you call each other and you're like, okay, leaving right now to the grocery store because I'm going to go pick up the cucumbers and the ground beef and the rice and the avocado. That's the accountability part. And Dylan, Carson needs somebody like you, and vice versa. Carson, I'm sure that there's some areas where Dylan needs more of you. Maybe that's where I come in with the sales part. So you guys need to both hold each other accountable as leaders inside of your household. So like, I just want to deem it right now that you guys today need to make the change to pave the way for your family and set the standards and the habits for your household. Because if you don't do that, your children are going to learn from you and they're going to follow after exactly the same pattern. It's just like the smoker who has kids. More than likely, they're going to smoke too. So if they see dad all day long, who's going out to the pool or is doing CrossFit stuff, or, like I remember all the time, my dad used to run like marathons all the time. So that's what I know of. So if your kids are seeing you guys work out and take care of your health, your kids are going to be like, damn, I want to be like dad. Like looking up to dad. Cause I'll tell you right now, I've got younger brothers, and the biggest thing that would pain me is I find out that they're looking up to somebody else and I'm not their mentor. So think about it like this. And I've done this with my sales team. This is a great thing to do with Megan too. I've had my sales team before, and like my brothers, I've given them a piece of paper and I said, hey, I want you on this paper to write down your mentor. By the end of the day, I want you to give me that piece of paper. The question is it your name on that paper? Or is it somebody else's name? Because in my family, in my household, I know for a fact that it's going to be my name. And if it's not, I need to make adjustments fast, and I need to apologize to them that I'm not the one setting the standard in the household. Because I train every single day to making sure my brothers have somebody to look up to. They have somebody to pave the way. Their father's not really involved in their lives. Their father doesn't really care about what they do. So I got to make sure that I step up for them. So just remember that, like, you guys got to hold each other accountable too.
That's right.
So much.
We're definitely going to do that. We might, as soon as you get off of here, we might just start talking about it.
Come up with a plan. I tell people you're one decision away from changing your life, and you guys can do that. You have the ability. You guys are lucky, because I know most people don't even have anybody. But I'm glad that like your wives are involved. They understand too. And by the way, Dylan and Carson, for your wives, I've got a women's Facebook group that I help empower more women, and I would love for you guys to be a part of that and have them be a part of it too. We're really, really focusing on here at the Elliott Group, helping women become the best versions of their lives too. So it's not just you guys. But I mean, it's the women that support each other too. Let me see if I can drop it in the chat, and I'll send it over to you guys. And I think that would be powerful. Do you have more of the ladies around too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I'm finding it right now, so you guys can have it and put it in your chat. What other questions do you have? I can answer a couple more. I feel like you guys got more.
You got anything, Carson?
I don't have a question, but to everything that we were just talking about, I definitely wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am today if I didn't have Megan pushing me to be better. And she's really good about doing it without making me feel like I haven't already done something great, So she just kind of brings that out in me. So it's really nice to have an equal partner.
That's cool. Yeah, you gotta make sure that you express that your gratitude for them, that you're grateful for them, because men's age will last longer because of a good woman in their life. The average male life expectancy is shorter without a woman. So
That's because
yeah,
guys are dumb.
they kind of need you just a little. I mean, you kind of need us just a little bit. I promise that we will help you grow a little bit faster than what you need. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to sign off here. Dylan, do you have anything else? Anything else I could give you guys before I go?
You pretty much, you know, you said a lot, and I'm really thankful for you coming on, because I feel like I've learned some stuff and had some takeaways for sure. But where can people find you?
Yeah, so I've got my phone number that I dropped. That's the quickest way to get a hold of me. If you just send me a text, like, I'll always respond back because it's your direct text message line. So my phone number is 949-212-1587. You can find me on Facebook, and that's Celina, Celina. Last name is Eklund, Eklund. Same thing for Instagram. And then Carson, I sent over to the women's Facebook group. So I don't know if you drop that in the comments in your live chat or what have not, but that's another great resource. That's a great place to be too as well. But directly, cell phone number, always
Awesome.
the best to get a hold of me.
Also,
And I just want to add in there that she really does mean that, because that's how we got connected. There was another person on the end of the line when I started looking into Andy Elliott stuff. So it really surprised me to talk to somebody.
Yeah, we're here for you. A lot of people think we're like AI or we're robots or like we're not real, but we're real. We're here, and you're not getting routed to a call in the Philippines. So yeah, you're going to get one of us coaches, and I hope to God that it's myself, because we're here to help you become the best version of yourself for your family and your personal life.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And you could just hit the leave button when you're
cool.
And
all right, gentlemen, I'm going to give you that salutation that I got earlier. If there's anything that you guys need, I got your guys back for life, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Carson, we're going to get our lives together real quick.
Bro, I feel like a piece of crap right now.
What? I feel great.
No, I do too, but I feel like I could be better.
You could.
It was funny because, she was saying that, Dylan, you might need to do this and you might need to do that to keep Carson accountable. And the whole time I'm thinking, bro, he's tried.
Yeah, I've tried. I feel like you doing like, if you were to like get like one of their programs or whatever, that would definitely help you, because like she was saying, if you pay for it, you're more likely to do it.
Training.
But I mean, you do have a gym membership and stuff, so, and you don't use it. So. They've never seen you at the gym.
They saw me when I signed up.
Yeah, I mean, you've been there at least once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get in there, man, or you're going to be off the podcast, because you got to have a six-pack.
Yeah. So, who's your mentor?
That's what I'm trying to think, man. Who's your mentor?
Yeah,
do you have one?
I mean, I don't have like a direct mentor. There's definitely like people that I look up to. Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel like she's saying someone that you kind of look up to, and just kind of like model your life after.
Yeah,
that's a good question. I feel like I have a lot of people.
I mean, my boss right now, he's kind of like a role model for me. I really like the things that he's done and the way he leads our
Talking about me?
So I would say. Sure. I would say he's definitely kind of a mentor role for me. And my stepdad for sure. He's kind of continuously still, even though I am a grown man, helping me figure out how to be a man, what that looks like.
Really?
He set a very good example for me growing up.
That's all. He's kind of the quiet guy.
Yeah, he does say much, but when he does, it's usually important.
I'm trying to think who else is like that.
Hang on 1 second.
All right, man. What? You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and sign it off. I gotta get back to it.
Awesome.
We'll circle back on this mentor thing though.
Yeah, y'all if you're watching or listening, keep that in mind. Who is your mentor? Who's one person? If if you can pinpoint one person that you kind of model your life after, and that has the single most impact on you. It doesn't necessarily, I feel like we envision mentors as someone that's like your direct contact, but just based off of the kind of example she was setting, who is somebody that you kind of follow?
Who influences you?
Yeah, who influences you the most? And you model your life after theirs. But yeah, y'all keep that in mind. We'll try to bring that back up. And also, like she said, me and Carson are going to keep each other accountable on some things. Maybe I can get him on the fitness. If not, whatever. But he's going to, coming up, he's going to help me revamp my YouTube channel. But yeah, put work in, guys. Where's Peyton at? I don't know.
He quit.
He quit. Now he's probably asleep. He's putting sleep in, getting some Z's. Well, Carson Smith, see you later, buddy. Billy Young, hit the links. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Oh, peace out. It's just me. Have a great day, guys.